Coming to you from Homebrew Studios, it's Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour with your host, Bob Katie,
and John Picarillo.
Roll tonight will be
playing the role of John Picarillo tonight will be the angry young man, Tom Papura.
Well, thank you for still calling me young, Bob.
John, as he calls me, John.
Yeah, this is starting off splendid.
Yes.
My first flub in the first 3 seconds.
Well, welcome to Bob and John Super Duper Variety Power Hour. It's not an episode, so we're not putting this as a normal episode because not that Tom's substituting, but we're just doing a completely different thing here. So Tom is our resident angry person in the band. So he likes to rant and rave. It's like all of us do at some point. And I thought, you know what? I feel like ranting and raving too today.
And sometimes we get off on some pretty good rants and raves together, Bob.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I thought we would do a little something different, kind of shake it up, and have a little bit of some political discussion. Something Jay doesn't like to do, political discussion. He doesn't like any of that. He just doesn't want. It's stress. I think it just stresses him out. And he doesn't want to get in conflict
and have fun. That's what.
Yeah,
it is.
He doesn't like the conflict of it.
No.
John sometimes likes to have a healthy conversation about it, but we're doing this before band practice, and he's not here. And he was just like, "Oh, just go do it, no problem."
It'll be fun.
Yes, absolutely.
And in celebration of this first episode with me and Bob, I've worn my, Communist Party garb tonight. So
does that mean you're in the Trump camp?
It's funny as I probably said this before talking amongst you guys. The world was much more predictable, and you understood things a lot better as far as who the supposed enemy was and all that when the communist regime in the Eastern Bloc countries was in full total control. And now it's just like a scatter shot of crazy shit,
I think when we started monkeying around in the Middle East, that's when things really shades of gray became everywhere.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's just like a whole different thing now out there, and it's like, countries that are supposedly our ally are probably really our enemy, and, there's a narrative there that goes behind the scenes that nobody really understands fully unless you kind of look back at the big picture now.
Well, it's funny because the United States after World War II kind of had this thing of they were very much against any kind of empire. You know what I mean? I think that was part of one of the treaties in World War II was that wasn't it that England had to give up some of their what's the word I'm looking for? Well, part of the English Empire, but part of
all that imperialism needed to go away.
They're what they had under lock and key. But yet the United States kind of does this thing we're not going to make you we're not going to take control of you. But if you don't kind of go along, we're going to put some people in power that go along with us. So kind of in a way, it's kind of passive aggressive in a way of we'll make sure somebody's in there that goes along with us.
At least for a little while, like Saddam Hussein, let's say.
Yeah.
1979, he got thrown in there, and then it's kind of funny how he kind of turned on us for some reason,
I mean, he got his own ideas and his own...
I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, after we supplied him with...
Let me just cut these puppet strings off.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's basically what it became.
Yeah, let me have a war with your enemy which is our enemy, but then let me get a little greedy and,
And then it's kind of funny, too, because, then for a while, Iran was kind of like in this weird middle ground, and now they're kind of sliding back towards, according to the political narratives now, they're sliding back towards being our enemy again, which is, kind of fabricated bullshit. But
I saw something, I can't remember what it was. It might have been on Vice on HBO. This thing about Iran and the if we were smart, we would try to work with them more because the generations that are coming up, the young Iranian all of them, they're the ones that want to change things a lot there.
Yeah.
And they would be the ones that you'd want to look forward to working with.
And create a good kind of like relationship with them.
Yeah.
Kind of like in a proactive manner rather than, waiting for them to come around to us if we go in there and kind of like, subtly push our agenda on them a little bit.
Well, they're not like hardline either in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So it's like, but of course, instead, we can't possibly do that.
Oh, no.
Especially with the big orange dick there.
Yeah, exactly. Cheeto Von Tweedo.
Cheeto Von Tweedo.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, with with that asshole, it's impossible to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing that's getting ramped up now is like,
Excuse me.
it's, and the other thing is with all this stuff getting ramped up, it's like, well, number one, Iran is kind of talking with big balls, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they think they're ready to take.
Yeah. Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
And, this is one of the reasons that we keep our thumb on Israel to the degree we do and funnel billions of dollars to them every year, even though they're a pretty damn rich country.
Yeah. I feel like probably a terrible way to put it, though. But I feel like, in a way, Israel is kind of like the dog we have in the out there, and we just have to kind of rein them in, because if we didn't, they'd just start bombing and fucking raining terror on every fucking other nation in the Middle East.
Yeah, especially with that nut job Netanyahu in there right now, which sounds like a kind of a funny name. Anyways.
Nut job Netanyahu.
Nut job Netanyahu, exactly.
You on drugs?
I like that. Not right now.
Nut job Netanyahu. Yeah, they're So they're attacking Saudi ships now.
Yeah. I mean, number one, obviously Saudi Arabia is supposedly our ally again.
Does Iran even have a navy?
I don't even know, and if they do, it's probably like
because they're not. I'm terrible with the Middle East because it just annoys the shit out of me, so I don't pay as much attention as I should. They're not landlocked, are they?
No, I mean
Iraq was landlocked.
Yeah, and that's why they had to come in through Kuwait and all that.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, but Iran is not, right?
Choose your, Iraq, war. Either the first episode or the second one.
The first episode I thought was what should have what was done correctly.
Yeah.
The second one was just like
a fustercluck. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, that one was just completely, have you seen Vice, the movie?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you're gonna love that.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you're gonna love that. It's completely Dick Cheney, just
and the
putting his hand up Junior's ass and making him talk.
What's that? What's that up my rectum right there? Yeah. Is that you?
Yeah. Make him.
Is that you, Dick?
Is that you, Dick? Exactly. Exactly.
Right after you suck on these little Chinese nuts.
I'm going to probably be laughing a lot because Bob's got a bunch of new drops I have not heard yet.
Oh, you haven't heard these?
No, I've been really lax in the podcast for the last few weeks. And I'm a bad boy, and I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
That's like my Saturday morning coffee thing, but I've been...
not having Saturday morning coffee?
I've been having a cup of coffee and off and running and doing things lately, and it's, it goes against everything I stand for as far as weekends go. Sleep in, have a nice big cup of coffee, watch the podcast, have another big cup of coffee, and then maybe around 11 o'clock or noon, I might start rolling and doing something. And,
oh, there you go.
Yeah.
See, for not watching it?
Fuck you.
Duly noted.
Spoken like a truly unfunny alcoholic.
This episode is brought to you by my Canada Dry Lemon Lime Sparkling Seltzer Water.
Yes, which we absolutely get no money from.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
But maybe they'll like us.
Let's get out of here, Steve. This place smells like farts anyway. Or it's about to.
Oh, okay. Now I got to catch up.
Yeah, now you got to catch up.
Yep.
Now you got to get in there.
Yep.
What about the, one of the things that's been, obviously, we're going to be inundated for over a year and a half now is the upcoming election.
Oh, yeah.
which is I think is too long to even be doing some of this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's so far off right now on the horizon, and, all these people are throwing their names in the hat already, and it's like before they even get to, like, close to primary time, there's going to be so many casualties to this whole thing. It's just, who's going to be, is there going to be like another wave? Is this going to be like a war where like they have, fronts of, people trying to vie for this, Democratic nomination? And then
22 so far, I think it is.
That's what it
might
is,
even be higher. By the time we start talking on this, somebody else is probably in the race.
Yeah, there's probably 3 that just started right now.
Yeah. There are some interesting ones that came about that you didn't know about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, look, that Mayor Pete, I've seen a few interviews with him, and you just go, he makes too much sense, so he's not going to get there.
No, they're not going to like that at all. Is it the butt plug guy or whatever his name is? Or is that Budapest or something?
Yeah, Budapest. Budapest, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's probably going to be the biggest problem is nobody's going to know how to pronounce his name, so that automatically disqualifies him anyways.
Yeah, but I think that's why they got they're on this Mayor Pete thing.
Yeah.
Calling him Mayor Pete.
So then he's going to be President Pete if he gets elected?
Maybe.
Hi, President Pete. How you doing?
Hey, a complicated name after fucking dump. Why not? You know
exactly. This is true.
Hey, if they can do Netanyahu.
This is true. Then we can do Mayor Pete, whatever his last name is, however you pronounce it.
The way I look at it is, if a black man after 9/11 with the last name Obama can get elected twice.
Middle name Hussein, yeah.
Yeah, anything can get fucking done. Mm-hmm. Maybe except for a woman.
Yeah, and I, as much as I hate to say that and agree with you, I mean, it's got to be a particular specific kind of a woman, and obviously, the last candidate was not it.
No.
And, she's about as warm and fuzzy as a fucking porcupine.
It was already too much of her, though. I think that was the problem.
Yeah, oversaturation.
I think it was way too much of her. And, of course, Bill's baggage didn't help either.
Yep, exactly. When he was going out stumping for her and stuff, it probably a lot of times did not do as much good as they hoped.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And then, of course, people like High Pitch Eric, Benghazi!
Yeah.
That's the war cry of the anti-Hillaries was, Benghazi. And it's like, well, there's a lot more moving parts to that than people realize. And
there's always more moving parts than...
But somebody's got to take the fall, and of course it was her, and she, after all those investigations and all that wasted time, nothing came of it.
Yeah, because that's how it always works.
Yeah, because...
After World War II, they were going back, they're still trying to hang Pearl Harbor on Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Saying that he knew about it for weeks and just decided to let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
How could anybody even, Roosevelt wasn't an evil person by any stretch of the imagination. So, I mean, how would you possibly let that happen?
Because I think I just got done for like a third time watching a thing called the Roosevelt. It's a PBS, like an American Experience thing.
God, I feel like Howard Stern tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
Excuse me. Seltzer's good.
Let's get out of here, Steve. This place smells like farts anyway. Or it's about to.
But he was like, the Republicans back then looked at him as a master manipulator.
Yep.
Like he manipulated things. Like he basically thought Congress and the Senate should just work for him.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
No, balances or anything.
No. Like, this is my agenda. You should just nod and go along with it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Yeah.
Which, I guess it's, if you're on that side, if on his side, it's ingenious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But at the same time, that's not the way this whole system of government was built.
No, absolutely not.
The checks and balances of the 3 branches of government were there for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. So that he couldn't, people like him couldn't do that to, a large extent.
Yeah. There was, who was that, who was the Republican a couple of years ago that ran hunting something or other or whatever? I think his daughter's one of the yappers on The View there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Started with it, hunting something. I can't remember his name. But he was actually the first Republican I went like, wow, okay. He's actually making sense.
Yeah.
And of course,
that
he didn't
doesn't
stand a
happen.
chance.
And that doesn't happen very often in the Republican Party anymore.
No.
And the problem is that, I mean, we can obviously trace it right back and we know where it started. It started with good old Ron Reagan and letting all those evangelicals up his ass.
Yeah. Well, the amazing thing is he was a Democrat in the 40s and 50s.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't switch parties until he decided to run for governor in California. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like late 50s or something. He switched over.
And it's kind of funny because, you think of California as such a liberal type place, and yet, Ron Reagan, Republican governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Republican governor, although Arnold Schwarzenegger is more of a classic Republican.
Yeah, he was more with a Republican, like I still think I still think the best and of course badass president is still Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Horse riding motherfucker.
Yeah. Just with today with obviously with the parties when they shift, you know what I mean? He probably would be almost a Democrat.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Especially with his environmental and the trust busting and all that.
Yep. And that's the problem, and it kind of triggers you just triggered me, Bob. I can't believe you did that.
Don't think, Axel. It makes my dick itch.
I saw this post that a couple of ultra conservative jackoffs have put up on Facebook as of recent about in 1865 the Democratic Party stood for slavery and this and that and the other and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Those parties aren't the same now. I mean, they've shifted over time, and and there's been this ebb and flow of it for years.
If they knew anything about the Democratic Party, they would realize it was the 60s is where the shift started to happen.
Yeah.
Because LBJ, Johnson was the first one that really went against the Southern,
Yep, exactly.
The Southern Democrats.
And he actually, kind of unwillingly did that to a certain degree, but he knew it was going to work in his favor, and that's why he did it.
Yeah.
It was all posturing.
Yeah. Well, I think in a way, he did have a little bit of like moral like shit.
Yeah,
we're
he probably
wrong.
had a certain level of moral compass that kind of said, yeah, all right, you know what, I can see why we should do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even if he wasn't lock, stock, and barrel with the whole thing, he was definitely, malleable, I guess is a good word. Look, there's Tom's $5 word for the day.
Look it up, folks. Look it up.
See this? This is the kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
Malleable.
I think I've completely expended my brain power for the night.
Using the word malleable?
Using big words, yeah.
Big words like malleable.
Now I'm gonna do the rest of the podcast sounding like Keanu Reeves instead.
Oh, no. We want actually people to listen to the podcast.
Whoa.
Instead of you going, whoa. Oh, no. We don't want to have any of that. We don't want to have that. One of the amazing things is that I know what's coming is the Republicans and Trump are going to cry this whole socialism thing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the battle cry.
Which I think I don't agree with the complete left, crazy left. Like what's I got her name here, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
AOC.
Yeah, she's a little bit nutty.
Yeah, and
she's a little bit extreme.
It's the she's trying to be the squeaky wheel on the left side. That's what she's trying to do,
Yeah, but she's fucking talking some extreme stuff. I mean, a 70% tax rate.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
But that is actually not necessarily income tax rate, but other things. And what little I've read about it, it doesn't come out quite like that. Where it's like, yeah, okay, for every dollar you're getting ripped off for 70 cents. It's a little bit more convoluted than that because why would the tax code ever be fucking simple?
No, that wouldn't be right. That'd make our life so simple.
Oh, by the way, Donald Trump, thanks for my wonderful tax break. I owed $500 on my income taxes this year. Last year I got back $1,500. So suck a big one.
Oh, he just bent me over today. Opened his fucking with China.
Oh yeah.
Oh, stock market went down almost 700 points.
Yep.
It just drove it fucking home right through my ass. That motherfucker opens his mouth and you know what I mean? And I want to say one thing. I'm not because I'm anti-Trump doesn't mean I'm like I love everything the Democrats. I don't like suck a Democratic dick just because
Absolutely.
it's there.
You know what? And that's been me for a long time too. I actually, when I registered to vote for the first time when I was 18 in high school, I registered independent. I'm like, even back then, back in 1984, it's like, I don't agree with everything these Democrats, are saying. I don't agree with everything the Republicans are saying. And it's like, I'm someplace.
But you agree with some from each thing.
And the problem is now everything is down to singular planks in the party platforms. That's what people vote on specifically. Like, well, the only reason I'm going to vote for Donald Trump is because he's going to protect our Second Amendment rights, and Hillary's trying to take all our guns.
Oh, the fucking gun thing.
A, come on,
the gun thing.
Like such freaking low hanging stupid fruit. It's not even funny.
Number one, nobody's trying to take all your fucking guns. But you shouldn't be able to get things that the military uses.
They're made for a specific purpose, and that's not for the civilian use. Yes.
Yeah, and then you get the argument, well, I want to be ready for my government. Let me tell you, asshole, that was done when everybody had a musket, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
And now we'll give you your AK-47 or your whatever the fuck. What's the gun now that everybody's the MR whatever.
Yeah, it's like the newest.
The newest high school killer.
Yeah, exactly.
That one? We'll give you that. You know what I mean? You want to fight the government with that and everything, and they're just going to drop a drone on your ass.
Exactly. Drone's going to come in and drop a nice little quick bomb and
down your chimney and. You know what I mean? Ain't gonna be Santa Claus this time.
Cancel Christmas.
Yeah. I ain't got no chimney.
Cancel Christmas. Santa can't get down into the chimney this year.
Yeah. They blew it the fuck up. Yeah, so that argument is just bullshit.
Yep.
And I've never heard in a lot of the gun control as of lately. They just want to. It's mainly get rid of the. What are the AR-16? Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Why can't I remember what the name of that thing is?
I can't remember it either. It's just like the modern version of like probably the AR-15 or something like that.
Yeah. It's like they want to get rid of that because they just don't want somebody to have the ability to go in there and
mow a bunch of people down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we want you to try to reload.
Yeah. Let's make it at least a little bit fair so people get time to run.
Exactly.
And that's just the thing, and everybody's like, well, if we do that, then what are they going to do next? They're going to just, plant bombs and stuff like that. People have no idea the level of scrutiny that everything is under.
Good.
Now.
Maybe some of these assholes will blow themselves up before they even get out of the basement.
Well, like for instance, in my job, one of the things we work with law enforcement, and we work on the this interdiction program for anything radioactive. If you remember after, September 11th, 2001, everything was like, oh, we got to watch out. They're going to try a dirty bomb next, and all this shit. That stuff is so scrutinized. You don't believe all the choke points around the country where they're checking for that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Day and night, 24/7, 365.
All the things that probably almost happened will never have the full.
I know of a few.
Yeah, the full thing of it because,
Yeah.
But, yeah. Trump thinks all these people are idiots that do this do this for a living.
Yeah.
That do that for a living, protecting us.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He has absolutely no respect for people of any of those kind of positions at all.
Well, isn't that shocking that he hates the Central Intelligence Agency? Anything with intelligence he doesn't like.
No, because it's going to make him look stupid.
Yeah, well,
he does that pretty well himself. That's for sure.
Is that going to be hard?
No, you know what? That's pretty much a lobbed pitch right over the home plate.
Talk about low hanging fruit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's real easy shit. I was reading today that what's his face there, Giuliani.
Giuliani?
Yeah, Giuliani thinks that Barr should investigate Biden. So basically, is this what's going to happen for the next election?
Shit. Yeah, tit for tat politics now.
But I'm thinking, is this what the next election is going to be? Is Trump going to then take what we pay the government, our tax dollars, and make it them his investigators to investigate his opponents?
Yeah.
Going back to the lock her up thing, what I mean?
Exactly. And the thing with all of that is like, first and foremost, let's all be adults here, which I pretend to be most of the time.
Spoken like a truly unfunny alcoholic.
But the thing is that, anybody with half a brain knows that every politician's fucking sleazy.
Yeah.
And they've all done shit.
Especially if they get to that level.
Yeah, to get to that level, you have to do some shit. And the thing is that, okay, it's going to be like that. Let's use a great story from a fictional book, where Jesus says to the people, let he without the sin cast the first stone, and that's what it's going to become. Who are we going to get? Like a fucking poor guy that's been sweeping up high schools to run for president? It's going to get to that level because everybody all the way from local government on up has got some sleazy shit in their fucking history.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it.
Yeah, I would love to see Biden in Trump, because I think he could sling with Trump just as well. But unfortunately, I don't think it's it's just not the right way to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the battle of the old farts now.
Yeah, Biden's got a lot of political tread on him.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I mean? Like Hillary did.
Yeah, he's starting to show some of his wear bands on his tread life. That's for sure.
And I think Bernie missed his window.
Oh, Bernie missed his window. Last election was it.
Yeah.
That's he had the momentum. And then Hillary basically pulled all that shit and kind of tossed him aside.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because it actually motivated a lot of young voters that probably would have showed up to the polls, and that probably would have made the big difference. Although, of course, if you look at the whole electoral college thing, the swing states are everything. It doesn't fucking matter.
Electoral college is shit, and it's back when fucking horse and buggy, and you had to fucking, what I mean?
Exactly. Well, we can't trust all these stupid people to actually directly vote for the president. And that's what basically it was, because, those people are out there working their asses off 16, 18 hours a day in farms and all that stuff and factories.
Well, they couldn't get to places to vote and everything. So that's why it was more of a geological areas to do it.
Yep.
Now that's why it always kills me. Everybody's just like, well, come on, one man, one vote. No, it's not.
No.
Yeah. No.
And if you look at the true scheme of the electoral college, it comes down to a couple of swing states every time, and everything else is just, it's like pissing in the wind.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's unfortunate. But I did want to touch on one thing that I think you will probably wholeheartedly agree with is, if we go back to this 2016 election and, even back further than that, what we were talking about earlier, the ultra far left nut job assholes. and again, I'm, progressive in some points of view, conservative in others, and that's the way, I think sensible people should be that are, thinking about things.
You said a dirty word. Sensible.
And thinking about things pragmatically. Oh,
right, another big word.
$5 word there. The far.
Don't think, Axel. It makes my dick itch.
The far left movement, starting way before, especially they got a lot of traction with Obama and all that. Started pushing way too many agendas down everybody's throat to the point where that's the backlash.
Yeah.
It's the absolute backlash. Like, for instance, all this stuff now with coming up with new pronouns for people that lop their cocks off and stuff like that. And it's like, well, you could call me a she, but I'd rather be a Zim or a Z or whatever the frig it is.
Everybody needs a safe space.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
And that's what really led to this. And this was the culmination of, in the beginning of the pushback against the far left for trying to push too many agendas all at once and shove them down everybody's throat. All the bathroom issues and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
That was just a precipice of it, leading up to the 2016 election, and then the freaking shit hit the fan.
Well, they had to nickel and dime it. It's like, okay, the gay marriage thing. It's like, all right, that's cool. You got that?
Yeah, if they want to suffer like the rest of us,
exactly.
Have at it.
Great. But then they started to nickel and dime it with the whole bathroom thing, the whole, every single little thing, and it all had to be done at once, like you said.
Like a bum rush of freaking, far left ideas just overwhelmed everybody. And you're not going to be able to get people, especially places like down south and the Midwest and the Rust Belt, to sit there and say, oh, now I've got to share my bathroom with somebody that used to be a man or used to be a woman, or it just gets to be too much for you got to do these kind of things if you're going to try to do them in some sort of easy way that kind of eases people into. You can't just all of a sudden one day say, okay, that's it from now on, today forward,
Yeah.
and then if you don't, then you're an asshole.
Yeah. exactly.
And you and I both got plenty of reasons to be called assholes for other, things. So it doesn't matter.
I'm proud to wear the moniker.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's to get back. We started with the whole socialism platform and everything.
Yep.
The funny thing about Republicans is that they don't realize that there's already socialism in this country that's been here for 50 years. Social Security.
Yeah. How do they think all the interstates get paved?
Yeah.
Huh. Does that money just like fall out of the sky?
The New Deal is all socialism.
Yep.
And why did we do that? Oh, because everything was going down the toilet.
Yeah. In individual states, some suffered more than others and so forth. So it kind of like they tried to kind of spread it out and level it out so that everybody got, what they hopefully needed.
Well, that's what kills me is anytime we hit a recession, everybody's just like, "Oh, this is like the Great Depression." I'm like, "Wow, you don't know anything."
No, you weren't selling apples and pencils on a corner for like a penny a piece.
Yeah, I'm like,
so don't even talk about it.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't know shit, do you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have no idea. That's the I was watching CBS Sunday Morning. There, they had the general. Or he was general commander, whoever the hell he was. He was the one that he commanded the group that caught Bin Laden.
Yeah, oh yeah, yep.
And he
SEAL Team 6.
Yeah, he had in his book there about how he's a warrior and that he craves war and everything else. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to take anything away from anybody in the military because if you've had a bullet shot at you. That's a fucked up thing that you got to deal with, and it's crazy. It's a crazy thing. But somebody in modern warfare saying that they love war and crave war and are a warrior, I want to see how they would feel on the beaches of Omaha Beach.
Yep.
And see when the gate goes down. How warrior-like...
people are getting mowed down left and right all around you, yeah.
Yeah, because if you look at it, pre-World War II and before, it was... can you imagine the pressure that was on not only just surviving, but if we lose this war, there might be no place to go home to.
Exactly.
It's game over. Everything after World War II, it's like... this sucks. I want to survive, and I just want to go home.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But home wasn't being threatened.
Exactly. We got damn lucky. We've been lucky all along.
Yeah.
It never came to us any farther than Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, exactly. So it just kills me when people want to make those comparisons. It's just like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, it's apples and oranges from 1940 something to now.
Yeah, I mean,
same thing.
You're talking about you're talking about a war in probably any war after World War II. You're talking about young men that were fighting wars. World War II, there were people signing up that were 50, in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah. They had already fought in World War I.
Yeah, that were going.
I'm going to go back.
War. Yeah. So that just I was just talking to my wife and just like, this guy's nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nuts to say that. It's probably no respect of what World War II was.
And any higher ranking official in the military would probably want to say something like, I would do anything I can to avoid war.
Yeah.
And war is always the last, kind of last-ditch effort. When everything else fails, when diplomacy fails and all that, then it's war. You don't go in there and start wars, because it's going to get your yayas off.
Exactly.
Yeah, that guy sits home and cranks old like movies like Platoon and stuff like that. Probably that's his porn.
Yeah, exactly. But as we were saying, the New Deal was the whole socialism. But, I mean, we have socialism because isn't our military basically socialism?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We put the money into the taxes and they spend it, and it's to protect us.
Yeah, if you look at the pie chart of how much of our federal tax dollars goes to, the Department of Defense, it's like, I want to say like 37% or something like that?
Yeah.
And then people sit there and complain about social programs like welfare and stuff like that. And you look at that little slice of pie, and it's like a little sliver that, for grandma that's on a fucking diet,
Yeah, but
I just want a little piece of pie.
Police, fire, You know, why don't we, if we really want to take socialism out, next time somebody's house is burning down, everybody just stand by and...
Let's have a bucket brigade. Yeah.
No, but it's not even that. Isn't the Republican ways to do it yourself? Pull up yourself by your bootstraps. Here's a bucket, dude.
Yep. Here,
good luck.
Here's your garden hose.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. But
you got in an accident? Sorry, no ambulances for you.
So the military we fund to protect us from outside invaders.
Yep.
The police is to police the people, to help them. Well, they want to say protect and
Allegedly
serve.
protect and serve, yes.
Yeah. Fire to obviously, in a way, protect and serve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But your health insurance, fuck yourself.
Exactly. Oh, no, we can't have any of that.
Oh, no. God, you mean the thing you probably use more than any of these on here?
Yeah.
On a daily basis?
Exactly.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't need that.
Yeah. Well, why would you possibly need that?
And then, and the thing is that, under the Hippocratic Oath, a doctor's got to do whatever they possibly can to save somebody's life. They're not going to say, oh, you don't have any insurance. Looks like you're going to die. You might not get the best care, but they're still going to do something, and it's still ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, we always hear the gripes from Americans about mainly the Republicans, but the whole thing of, they have shoddy health care. I don't see people in Canada complaining.
No.
I don't see people in the UK complaining.
And that's a very, very limited narrative, probably basically that's derived from Republican assholes who are trying to control the media and things like that. I know several people that are from Canada. They never said anything bad about it. They never said, oh, I had a broken arm, I had to wait 6 months. You hear like the bullshit stories like that. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. But then again, in this country here, I'm going to die because my insurance company told me to fuck off and I'm not worth the money they want to put into me.
Yeah, even though you pay those premiums every month,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you need the insurance now? Sorry. Yeah. Well, here's what you can do right here. It's not going to be the best, but, go away.
Yeah. That's when you sit there and go, oh, really? Well, then I want a refund, asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
This is when I started to pay into this system. I want the refund.
Yeah, because if you look at, between, for instance, for me, between what I have to pay in for my part of it and what my employer pays in a year, it's like $15,000 a year.
Yeah.
Total.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah,
That's
it
just
is.
for individual health care. Family health coverage, add a lot more to that, that bill every year. And, that's part of, what I get for my salary is, that, percentage of it that I only have to pay is very little compared to how much the actual cost for the health insurance is. Mm-hmm. And again, that's a collective thing. Now they're hoping that, a majority of the people aren't going to need it most of the time like me. I've only, been to doctors probably, a few times in the last couple of years. The biggest thing was the whole Lyme disease thing I had the other year. Mm-hmm. But other than that, if I think about it, I might go to the doctor for an annual checkup. For a few years I didn't. I was feeling great. You know? So guess what?
I'm totally in the I'm totally in the you don't need to touch me, doc, because I feel fine.
Yeah.
In that realm. Know what I mean?
And then it's always great too, because then it's like, oh well, if you look hard enough you're going to find something wrong.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's better not to look until, you start feeling something funny.
Until you start feeling something funny, and it's like you got a day left.
Yeah. But then again, if that's all you had, would you have wanted to know sooner? No way.
This guy rode me like an animal for 3 hours. Do you have any idea what that's like?
I've got something that, just gets, under my skin and just drives me up a fucking wall, and you probably would feel the same way, too. The ultra-conservative fucking idiots' bastardization of the word patriot.
Oh,
Fuck you with taking that word and trying to use it. And it's basically just masked racism and a bunch of other things. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. I'm a patriot. I want to protect our country. No, you just want to protect your part of the country for what you think it should be. And that's bullshit. I don't agree with just open the floodgates and letting any, Yahoo in here, but, that's never been the case. There's a specific, very structured way that immigrants come into this country.
Yeah.
It's not like they just, say, hey, come on over. Yep. Bring boatloads full.
I think the wall is shit. Because I just don't think it's going to be effective, number one. I just think that it's bullshit. It's not going to be effective more than anything.
Oh, yeah.
But the second thing is yes, they need to improve immigration.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Number one is if you want to improve the job rate, I don't know. Why don't you throw a bunch of people in, train them, and put a whole bunch of employees, throw that at the system to help it run smoother and faster. You know what I mean?
Well,
whatever happened to those days? Whatever happened to the day? Like FDR started that. Like, you know what? We're going to make a lot of programs to improve stuff around this country, and we're going to give a lot of jobs out for doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like our roads and sewers and drinking water and everything right down the fucking internet. I mean, it's like
our internet,
our infrastructure couldn't be improved, could it?
Our internet is probably just above third world countries.
Yeah.
If you look at the grand scheme of things, like over in Europe and a lot of places, they're going at like multi-gigabit speeds. In here, Spectrum says, okay, that'll be $65 a month if you want 100 megabits.
Yeah.
It's like, and over in Europe, the cost is like a third, and the the bandwidth is like 10 times what it is here.
I know they could. Listen. I know the infrastructure for this country is crazy because you can take Europe and just put it in our country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're talking about a size. So you can't completely say like, well, Europe does it or this country over there does it. Okay, well, you're talking about a country the size of Texas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're trying to do so. We would be trying to do it on the scale of that. But I mean, come on. You can create jobs, train these people, and do the infrastructure. You know what I mean?
And the thing is that it all comes down to greedy corporations once again. Because if you look at the the landscape of what is now telecommunications in this country, it's run by a couple of big conglomerates, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that was all done very purposefully to control the market. We don't have options. I mean, some places you might have the option between Verizon, Fios, and Spectrum.
I can't get Fios here. I'd love to get Fios.
Yeah.
I can't get it here. I'm stuck with Spectrum.
And that is done on purpose. And that's the thing. And it's all, politics and corporations in bed together, manipulating these things. We should have multiple choices. Like they say in Europe, you got like 7, most countries in Europe, you have like 7 different choices for your internet provider. And guess what? They all run on each other's lines and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it's just all, again, it's kind of a socialist thing too.
Yeah, listen, I don't want to get rid of capitalism because I think that, that's why the far left that's going a little crazy, I think is you start taxing people at like that high of a tax rate, then you start killing what is the American dream.
Yeah.
And then it's, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that when you reach the American dream and you're making a fucking boatload of money that you shouldn't have to pay your fare either.
Exactly. It should all be
share. The fair share. That's what I'm saying.
The tax concept, I think, was reasonable. As long as you take away all the loopholes for all these rich fucks that have, $20 million yachts and shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like every fucking thing that we enjoy because that company hasn't paid taxes.
Exactly.
Netflix, Amazon, the list goes on. All the car manufacturers, all the, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, really? You guys need all that fucking money? Really?
Yeah, they need all that money that they get from us already by buying their products. And then on top of that, they get to pay no taxes.
Yeah.
And yet, if you look back at the original tax structure for this country, companies were the only things that were supposed to pay taxes back then. Individuals were never supposed to have to pay income tax. It was
because they were taxed on goods to be right off the rip.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have an over-bloated $600 billion military budget per year that if we just got our fingers out of some fucking pot. You know what? Listen, I understand. I understand genocide is bad, and it's sad when you see it. But sometimes it's none of our fucking business.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It shouldn't be at the cost of us.
Yeah, we're like the world police, the world morality police, all that stuff. It's ridiculous.
That whole shit that started after World War II is just, you know what I mean?
It was just a new form of imperialism is all it was.
Yeah, and it's just bullshit that, you can give money and feed Ubuntu over in Africa for 30 cents a day. Well, no, I want to feed little Joey who's, picking dirt out of his ass on the street in Detroit.
Exactly.
You know
let's
what I mean?
take care of our own first, and let's take care of our problems here first.
Like maybe water in Michigan.
Yeah, that seems to still be a problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
We haven't been able to figure it the fuck out.
and again, here's another perfect thing there. When the church in Paris, the Notre Dame church burnt.
Yeah.
And millionaires and billionaires are throwing all sorts of money to fix that. It's like we got some problems over here.
They're the richest criminals organization on the planet.
Absolutely. Billions of dollars and
they are
liquid assets and artwork.
They are the top. They are the top of the mafia. They
absolutely.
They are the
Absolutely.
biggest criminal organization run.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I mean, people think about sorry, I got sidetracked from because I was thinking about immigrants come in and shoot people now from this, that, and everything else. Oh, in the Irish and the Irish and the Jewish mobs and the Italian mobs and they're okay. They came in and didn't kill anybody.
Oh no, not that we know of.
Yeah, that whole thing of like, they just killed each other. You didn't think innocent people got fucking whacked in the process? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And one of the worst ones is down in New York City is the Jewish mafia.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they let their little kids roam the streets freely without any concern because if one of those kids, anything happens to them, somebody's going to pay.
Yeah, well, we get the Russian mafia. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Seeing that our president is Russian.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That just is...
What's the translation of Donald into, Russian?
Yeah. Since when is it, like, cozy to be... that just kills me. It's like, let's be cozy with Russia. You know what I mean? The facts are that they meddled in our election, but let's just let it pass.
And even before that, I mean, this is all swinging back towards more of a totalitarian state like it was back when the Soviet Union was in full force, too. It's no different. It's really not. And then they try to, pull that shit over with Ukraine and Crimea and all that. I mean, that's just all them trying to kind of reach their arms back.
Oh, yeah.
See what they can grab onto.
Putin's smart. He's just like, how far can I go until smack? Okay.
Yep. Oh, okay.
And then, I'll just come around this way now until...
Yeah, while you're looking over here, I'm going to be kind of reaching over here now next.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what happened with the whole thing with Syria, I mean, that's what that is, It's all part of, certain conduits for certain, goods and products that, everybody needs and certain places in Russia need it. I mean, that's, the whole thing with Crimea and the Ukraine was all about, gas lines and oil lines going through there. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was all about. I mean, it was just plain as day. It's like, it's not, nobody's getting fooled here.
Yeah. Why is it when the United States, during a war now, some civilians get killed, not that that's a good thing, and we're just like the devil. But they can gas their own people in Syria.
Yeah.
With something that freaking even Hitler wouldn't even use. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Except against the Jews, but I mean in warfare.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet it's it's them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and there's always all these platitudes that they throw. Oh, there's another big word. That they
Don't think, Axel. It makes my dick itch.
That they throw out there, and there's all these catchphrases and stuff that they'll use, that are basically hollow. It's meaningless. It's all meaningless. Any rhetoric that comes out of our government's mouth when it comes to things like that is just completely hollow.
Oh, and of course, the whole thing is, here's the pictures of people being gassed in Syria. Oh, those are actors.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Sandy Hook. It was a big hoax.
Oh, my God. That's brilliant that he just got flambéed over that. You know what I mean?
He deserved every bit of that.
Oh, he deserved to get totally fucking destroyed like he did. You know
what? I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah. Going back to people with the moon landing was, what I
exactly.
mean? And the Holocaust never happened. And
the Earth's flat, by the way, Bob. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, my God.
You on drugs?
These people have not studied the concepts of fractal geometry.
Yeah. What's science? You know what I mean? Well, look it up on Google. What? Oh, that's science, asshole.
Science with an S.
Yeah, that's called science. Look it up because everything you're probably using, your phone and everything else, benefited from science.
Yes.
You know,
they didn't just like magically appear.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Anunnaki didn't come down from Nibiru or wherever it is and hand them to us. We actually had smart people that figured this shit out.
Yeah. But no, science
probably reverse engineered some alien technology too.
The Earth is flat. I can't even wrap my head around those people.
I like the fucking jack off that made like some sort of steam powered rocket so he could go like a couple of 1,000 feet up in the air so he could see that the Earth is still flat. Douchebag, you got to go like 5 or 6 miles up into the beginnings of the stratosphere before you can, or whatever it is. I forget all those different layers. Anyway, you got to go like 5 or 6 miles up before you can start to see the curvature of the Earth. That's far above, or maybe it's even farther than that because, I mean, you've been on a plane, you're at 30-something thousand feet. 5,280 miles. Our feet is a mile, so
you'd have to be like in one of the planes like Chuck Yeager fucking used to get up.
Yep.
He saw fucking space.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a plane. You know what I mean? In a jet. That type of shit.
Yeah, and then you're going to see it. Maybe we should take a few of these assholes and fly them up there and have them take a look around and then just jettison them.
I think we should start a program. You think the Earth is flat? Let me strap you to this fucking rock. If you think all this was fucking fake, well, let's see how you do when we strap you to a fucking rocket. It may or may not work. Who knows?
Hey.
Let's fucking try it.
Good luck. Thanks for playing.
Either you're going to believe that the Earth is round when we're done, or you're going to be in pieces.
Yeah. Either way, we win.
Yeah, exactly.
People with actual brains.
No, that would be too much.
Oh God, we can't do that.
Yeah, that would be way too much. I don't understand why it has to be total capitalism or total socialism. Why can't we just take the best from both and make it the best we possibly can?
Which we're already kind of partially there right now, like we were talking about with the road infrastructure and the police force, the firemen and the military and all that. That's already part of the way there. There's just a few more little pieces that we have to put into the puzzle.
Yeah. And when are they going to realize that? I forgot who he was. He was on Bill Maher's show. He's running for president last Friday. And I can't remember his fucking name. Because he's one of the 50,000 people running for president.
That's the problem. It's too dilute. It's way too dilute.
He's a senator or a congressman, one or the other, from Ohio, I think it is. Yeah, because he was talking about Youngstown, Ohio. And I totally agree with this. Why can't we take people, re-educate them, and get them working, pushing, reusable energy?
Yeah, exactly. Things that are going to be an absolute necessity probably within the next few decades. Mm-hmm. We need to build that now. Start with young people now that will probably be the ones that will kind of move it along a little further along the line, and then when the next generation comes along, they can kind of cast all that knowledge and everything back to the next ones, and then it'll just be like any other thing. It'll be like, oh yeah, that's the way we've always done it. I don't know any other way.
Yeah. And I'm terrible at recycling. I'm shit at it because I saw a piece on recycling where it basically just goes in these fucking warehouses and they don't know what the fuck to do with it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There are only very specific certain things that actually get recycled on a regular basis, and the rest of it actually ends up in landfills.
Yeah. So or they're trying to sell it.
Yeah.
They're trying to do something with it. So I'm not on the whole recycling bandwagon like somebody, John, is. You know what I mean?
Well,
John recycles ball hair.
Well, yeah, it's true. He sells it to poor kids that are going through chemo and stuff, right?
Yeah, he's probably listening upstairs going, fuck you too. Fuck you too.
Well, here's a good one that, goes into that too. And this is where all of this stuff comes together again in politics. And, I don't think we've nearly, slammed our hands on the table, our fist on the table enough in this first episode.
This is our first one.
Yeah, but we're easing into it.
Yeah.
But for instance, they were going to try to propose that they take all the used tires that are no longer able to be retreaded or anything like that would get shredded up, or put into landfills and stuff like that. They're going to shred them up and use them as part of the aggregate aggregate for asphalt. Yeah, that's exactly. I sound like Popeye for a second there. Aggregate. And they're like, it's going to be like 20% of what was going to go into asphalt was going to be shredded up tires. The asphalt lobbying group went to Washington and said, that's going to cut into our bottom line, and we don't like that, and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I mean, first and foremost, a major part of asphalt is a petroleum product. It's not going to last for much longer.
Yeah.
So we've got all these fucking used tires sitting in landfills all over the goddamn country.
Why not fill some holes with it? Yeah.
I mean, grind them up, shred them up, and let's, use that as part of the aggregate. And I was very careful.
Another big word there.
And that would have been a solution to two problems. They need, alternative feedstocks for asphalt, and we need to do something with all these fucking used tires.
That would make too much sense, though.
I know.
Don't
there
think,
I go again.
Axel, makes my dick itch.
I think we need to become senators or something and hold hearings, because I think we should just say that after they said stupid shit, we just need to do this, say this constantly.
You on drugs?
Which a lot of
when they do their long-winded stuff and it comes out to be just stupid shit as they're sitting at that table in front of the committee, you just go,
you on drugs?
Yeah. You know what I mean? They're stupid, dumb-ass shit. Did I cover everything we wanted to cover? We're coming to the end here.
Yeah, I think I've got, I had
I got
couple
one
of points,
more
but
for you.
I bounced a lot off you. And
I got one more for you.
All right.
I got two more. One is, I think the free college thing, I think they should at least make community college free.
Absolutely.
And then if you want to move on from there, then because at least community college should be able to get you
someplace.
But someplace.
I mean, there's plenty of trades and things you can get through community college.
Exactly.
And that's at least, more than somebody that's going to try to go and, there's apprenticeships and things for being like an electrician's union and plumbers and things like that. But there's all these other little new things that are coming along where you can, get a 2-year college degree through a community college and, be on your way. And then, well, guess what? You start working for an employer and you want to move up. Sometimes they'll even help you pay for your college tuition to get to your next degree.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems it's just a good logical progression.
Yeah, I think they already have it that you can be a moron and go to community college. You don't need any testing or anything. You just go and sign up.
Yeah.
Why not just make that free, and why not be able to get
Yeah.
It also kills me. I was reading today somebody famous was yelling, making the why don't we stop paying these mumbly, and not that I like rap, but mumbly fucking rappers millions of fucking dollars when teachers are, hold it, you're crossing things.
Yeah.
Teachers should be paid more, but that's the same thing I have a trouble when people say, well, why should we be paying these sports? Because it's the American dream.
Because
it's supply and demand.
Basically, or like it or not, it's a consumer product.
Exactly.
Sports,
they have
music,
a good.
It's a consumer product.
Yeah, exactly.
You may not be able to hold it in your hand unless it's an album or CD or whatever. In the sports stuff, I mean, it's just, if people want to, spend $120 on like a replica jersey for,
let them do it.
That's their money. They can do what they want.
You don't have to do it. Stop bitching about it.
Are we supposed to take like 20% of that money and put into some teacher's salary fund or something like that? That's not the way capitalism works.
No, yeah. And then those are the ones that are screaming about they don't like socialism, but yet that's what they want to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get started on that one next time. That can be a long ranting thing.
Absolutely.
But the last one I wanted to say, do you think if Dump gets defeated, he'll leave?
He'll leave the country?
He'll leave office. I know he has a preset thing of like, if I lose, I'm going to blame this, drag out this, try to get an investigation here. But do you think he'll actually, in the end, really fucking leave?
Right now, I think it's just too much of a ego rub for him, and I think he'll kick and scream every bit he can to hold on to that as long as he possibly can.
Yeah,
because he think.
But do you think the Republicans would actually just would back him?
You know
when
what?
it was time to leave, like every other sitting president does when they're defeated, or it's just time to leave, that they do.
You know what? I mean, I think he's going to try to do something depending on how this, 2020 election comes out. I can't see him going quietly. But
No, there's no quiet, that's for sure.
No. But the thing is, I think there's still plenty brewing that may completely disqualify him from 2020 election.
Really?
First and foremost, I've used that a lot today. My boss actually made a comment about that. I've got to come up with a new catchphrase instead of saying that. There are several states that are putting it into the requirement that the president, the guy that person that's running for that party's presidential candidate, has to show their tax records.
Yeah, why not? What's he hiding?
He's hiding the fact that he's a loser.
Yeah.
And he pissed away like $1.3 billion between like 85 and 96 or some time frame like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's because nobody was buying those Trump steaks or the shit Trump vodka, which was like, basically like, cheap shit bottom shelf vodka with a Trump name on it. You know, it's just his MO. It's like, okay, you know what? Those are probably kangaroo meat steaks anyways.
Number one is I don't want him. I don't want them. I know being impeached and actually being thrown out of office
are two different things. Yeah,
I don't want him thrown out of office because I don't want Pence in office.
Oh, that's a scary proposition.
Yeah, I want him defeated in 2020.
Yeah,
I think the Democrats that are Pelosi in a way is right. Like let's just try to. I know what she's thinking. She's like, let's just try to get him out.
Yeah, get him out in 2020, and that's it.
Yeah. The second thing is, I think if he wins an election and does another 4 years, I put fucking money on it now. He tries to change the fucking law
so he can get another term.
So we can get a third term. Yep. How in those fucking Republican fucks that bury their head in their fucking sand, which number one, they're all going to eat shit in the fucking long run.
Oh, they are. They're going to
Their time is going to come.
Mouths full of diarrhea they're going to suck down.
Yeah. Their time is going to come where they're going to have to pay for this fucking shit.
Yeah, the day
Mitch McConnell is going to eat a fucking The only thing that might save him is he might be too old and die before he can.
That old fucking sack of bones.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mitch.
Him and the other, who's the other one? Fucking Leslie, whatever.
Oh,
Leslie Graham.
Yeah.
Those two fucking
redneck fuck.
I'd love to punch both of them. That's what they are, cunts.
Yep. Punch them right in the baby.
On this website, on this podcast, we can say that word.
Absolutely. Cunt.
Yes.
With a hard
All right, that's all we wanted to say. You know what? When we come up with a name for this, maybe it'll just be Angry Assholes.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be the...
But maybe we'll do it with Z's instead, as holes.
Yeah. The actual logo will just be A with a bunch of fucking, dollar sign, what do you call it, star, that type of shit.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Something like that. We're going to come up with a name. We'll come up with a whole bunch of other stuff, but we're doing a whole bunch of different stuff with Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour. That we're still going to have Jay. Jay's still going to be here. Still going to do Jay's Brew. We're still going to do the top 10, but we're going to do every other week. You're going to be seeing a lot more different stuff. We got a music podcast that me and anybody who wants to join.
Yeah, anybody from 151 that's going to want to jump in the fray.
I don't have the Collies reference for Steve, which would make him happy.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
But he would... he's probably going to do the first one with me, but and it's going to be an anybody can join type of, whoever wants to come down for that podcast whenever we do it. But so what we're going to do, we're just going to keep it underneath the Bob and John's banner and see how it goes. Try to make more interesting things for you all to listen to.
Well, thanks for having me, Bob.
Toodaloo, motherfucker. Hey.
I think this is how we should end the angry podcast.
Oh hell, let's just do what we always do: hijack some nuclear weapons and hold the world hostage.
I love it.
All right, so you know what? We'll probably see you sometime soon.
Yep. See you
Bye,
soon,
y'all.
folks.
Stadler?
What?
Is that it?
Yes, it's over. How'd you like it?
I don't know. I slept through the whole thing.
Well, you didn't miss much.
Well, good night.
Oh hell, let's just do what we always do. Hijack some nuclear weapons and hold the world hostage.